And we are live. Okay, so the last time we died at the bottom of the Pirate's Cave, and I realized that continue I'd have to do a whole bunch of grinding, so I stopped the stream. Since then, I have gotten my herbs, healing herbs, and we shall continue this properly. Yay. We used to make games. Now we sell you the same game every year. Oh. My joystick. I could use the keyboard for this, but I prefer the joystick. Hold. Climbing gear. Yes. Hope I don't. This guy doesn't break my my weapon. Because that's happened before. Yeah, that was something I also learned last time that I didn't know and really wish I had known like 25 years ago or whatever it is when I played this originally, is that that by typing examine you can find the chests ahead of time or traps ahead of time. Healing herbs, I think, is 3, yeah. Where did... These monsters hate me. let's heal up a little. Yeah, I've got in my notes where all of the traps are. Okay, so climb down. Normally, you know, dealing with all these monsters, you know, I think, well, at least I'm getting XP. But you don't level up that way in this game. You don't get XP from killing stuff. You get XP from progressing with the story. So every single fight I have to do is really a waste of time. Seriously? Yay, topaz coin. A superb leaded club. Well, I might need that. Amethyst coin. Good. Ah, Florin, how you doing? Well, I can't say I'm doing fine, but I'm certainly doing better than yesterday. Yesterday was a bit of a nightmare. Yeah. I make no particular secret that I am suffering from mental issues, depression mostly. But I soldier on. That's great to hear. Another one of these dinosaur things. Gnasher turtle. Oh, and another night stalker. Yeah. One of the things I have to learn to deal with myself, if you will, is to not take things plan a little too far. For instance, a few moments ago I was thinking, what game should I play after this? And then I thought, no, decide that after you finished this game. Or Bard's Tale, with you know. This is the Commodore version. It's the Commodore version because that's the version that I played when I was young. Oh no, there's something that behind me, isn't there? Yeah, there. Yeah, this was a game owned by my friend Isaac. I had an Apple II. He had a Commodore 64, and there were, you know, we played this. We played Goals and I can't even say it. Ghouls and Ghosts, or whatever that was for the Commodore. You know, that famous Capcom game. We played a lot of stuff. But since booby trap chests, that's the first time I've seen that in this game. Yeah, but since it was his computer, I didn't get to play this very often. Ah, that's right. Hole in the ground, which I fell through. So, use another healing herb. Oh no, the Apple was the better computer. It's the better computer by the very simple standard of it's what I had as a kid. Yeah, my understanding is that Apple never really penetrated Europe. It was in a lot of schools here in the States. Of course, by the time they started getting them, it was after my time at school. So, oh well. I got to see other people play school games like Seven Cities of Gold. Don't remember if... Okay, yeah, there is a trap there. Okay, now I'm lost. Okay, I know where I am again. Yeah. I saw a video recently by the 8-Bit guy about the Commodore 128. And for part of that, he interviewed one of the guys that made the Commodore 128. And it was an interesting discussion about what a... Well, they didn't put it this way, but it seemed to be an awfully Frankenstein machine. You know, darn it. Somehow missed that trap before. Yeah. 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 When it comes to gaming, the Apple's only real problem was it didn't have any kind of built-in sound other than, of course, the beeper speaker. Yeah. Now, one of the things I always wanted for the computer was a applied engineering phasor, because Dad really liked applied engineering as a company, and they made a phasor, which is essentially two mockingboards on the same card. Never got it though. Yeah, I had a green monochrome monitor. So I didn't get to see see things in color. Okay. Okay, so then there we go. That's where I want to go. You could buy a color monitor for the Apple, but but most people didn't. I'm gonna have to try examining the chests to see if I can spot the traps ahead now. Examine. Oh. Helps if I actually press the right button. Alright. Use an herb just in case. Open. Alright. Oh, and I'm being attacked from behind as well. Another one! I'm glad I have plenty of healing herbs, because otherwise, yeah, this would be a problem. Lack of healing herbs was why I had to stop the stream last time. I had a few, but nowhere near I need enough. Nowhere enough to get through this particular dungeon. Yay! Use. Open. Alright, so... Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember to examine every chest to see if I can avoid the trapped chest by examining them. So examine, open. Okay, we'll see. Okay. Examine. Open. If nothing else, just by examining it, I seem to avoid any trap that might be there. I don't know if this pattern will hold, or if it's just... You never can tell with these old games. Oh, giant slug. Alright, so we're on floor 7. Right, climb down, examine, open. Yeah. Apparently on this one I have to press examine every time I turn a corner. Which is a pain in the neck if you were trying to control this only with a controller, but I've got a keyboard, so... And everyone with a Commodore had a keyboard. It was built into the flippin' system. Actually, come to think of it, that used to be rather common because you look at the Apple II line, until the 2GS at least. Because I unfortunately don't remember exactly how the 2GS looked other than it was different. But the 2 Plus, and 2E also had a built-in keyboard. Wonder why we moved away from that, because I remember the MSXs were like that too. On the other hand, the IBMs never were like that. I remember my dad... we were at work, his work one day. I don't remember where we were going later, probably to the museum. It was on a Sunday or Saturday. And he was showing me his brand new IBM PC-XT. And he was so thrilled with that. And I was kind of disappointed that it had no games. Because it was his dad's work machine. Of course it didn't have any games. Oh, that's right. Okay, now I'm confused. East, north, monster to fight. Yeah, we had the Apple II had a built-in keyboard, and then above that we had a bar with two 3.5-inch floppies. When or no, it was two 5 1/4s. The 3.5-inch floppy drives were on the side, and then on top of that we had our green monochrome monitor, and Some monochrome monitors were amber, which I didn't quite understand why. Because to me, the amber always looked ugly and the green looked normal, futuristic. Of course, futuristic would be actually having flippin' color, but I remember when the future involved reel-to-reel tape drives. Oh, cool. Is that the one with the 8086 chip, or did they already move to the 8088 at that point? Oh, 98. I'm sorry. I misread that. I thought it was 88. 98 would have been... Oh, geez. I don't remember when Pentiums were released. Oops, forgot to check. My first IBM compatible was a 486 DX, and I remember being originally disappointed that we weren't getting an Apple II GS, because that was the next in the line. But i440BX. But Dad made the right decision with the Pentium 2. Dad made the right decision with the Apple II GS, because no one was supporting it, including Apple themselves. The 2GS was created by Woz, and it was Steve Jobs who was in charge of these decisions. And Jobs, of course, was pushing the Macintosh. And Dad's chain of thought was essentially, well, if you're not going to support the computer that I want, then I'm going to switch. And so we went from an Apple II family to an IBM family. Oh, cool. Dad hated Windows. I kind of liked it. I mean, yeah, it was kind of broken, and was all of the worst aspects of an Amiga without any of the good ones. But yeah, it was definitely a step ahead for a lot of people. I have never forgiven Microsoft for what they did to Netscape Navigator or Digital. or Digital Research DOS. I'm not sure if they actually did anything to Lotus with Lotus 123. I'm aware of that phrase, DOS isn't done till Lotus won't run, but I think that's just a side effect of their upgrade rather than intentional. Oh yeah, Microsoft screwed over IBM with OS2 and screwed over Apple at one point. Microsoft has screwed over a lot of companies. So I've never fully forgiven them, even though Bill Gates has become a philanthropist, and you know, good on him. I'm glad he's doing good work now. But yeah. Yeah, it was a step up from Windows 3.1, but at the same time, it was the Amiga was a much better system at the time. But but I mean, giant slug ate my ring mail. Armor. Yeah, got a spare pair of ring mail, so there we go. Yeah, the main reason Amiga didn't succeed where Microsoft did is because Microsoft ran itself like a business with all the evil that implies. Whereas someone once described the Commodore company like this: if Commodore sold fried chicken like KFC, they would advertise it as lukewarm dead bird. No. So examining the chest does not make it get rid of the trap. That's good to know. And there's one of the quest items, which is why we're down here in this dungeon in the first place. And another one of the quest items, which is why we're down here in the first place. And so now we've got to make it all the way up. And fortunately, we have enough herbs to do that. Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. One of the things which Microsoft was brilliant at on the marketing side was they realized that having people make apps or programs or whatever you want to call them for your machine is paramount for the machine, because at the end of the day, you don't buy a machine for its hardware specs. You buy it for whatever am I being attacked from behind as well? Yes. You buy a computer for the software it can run. And so if you've got if you have a better software library, then more people are more likely to buy your machine. My mom a few years ago bought a iPad simply because the grading software that she needed for her job was on the iPad and not for Android. You know, and that's where Microsoft really got ahead of everyone, is they understood you need to have a really good software library. In fact, Microsoft Office is still the de facto standard. Let's see, Commodore was an era 80s, if I don't remember well. Commodore PET was their first system. Commodore PET is the earliest system I'm aware of, but I don't think it's their actual first. I think they had something before that, even more primitive, which I know is hard to imagine, considering how primitive the PET was. The PET was essentially a dumb terminal, but it connected to a computer that was built in. I remember the first time I saw an actual dumb terminal. It was at a museum. You're showing off the future of computing, and you know, you connected via a typewriter. It was essentially a typewriter because it had paper and it had a keyboard but no monitor, and a phone that connected to a mainframe. And they had something like Colossal Cave Adventure or whatever was the predecessor to Zork hooked up so you could play it, but you had to play it using with the printer, no monitor. And of course, the typing was slow because it was like 150 or baud modem, etc. And this was the future of computing. And now that I think back to it, it really was. Climb, that's the command. Because that was very much the predecessor to the internet. There we go. My Apple had a 1 megahertz processor. A 1 megahertz 65 MOS 6502, if I remember right. MOS was designed to be originally Z80 compatible, but then they got sued by Zillow, and so they changed it so that even though it could do everything the Z80 could do, it was not chip compatible. But it was a lot cheaper. Ah, gee, giant slug ate my ring mail again. Oh, I have some shoddy ring mail. I guess I'll use that. Okay, so where am I? Oh. Yeah, the PC Junior, spec-wise, was a decent machine, if I remember correctly, and had several ideas that were really great. Unfortunately, it never caught on and did things that people didn't like. Yeah, four-voice sound speaker. I remember that. Its biggest problem, I think, was it's overpriced for what it was, which was a kid's computer, essentially. Or at least that's how they were marketing it. But also, its hard drive was too close to its monitor, and they'd interfere with each other. Yeah, yeah, but at the same time, like I said, it was supposed to be a kid's computer, so it would make sense if it was a bit slower. Also, it tried to bring cartridges to the PC world. Now, granted, in Japan, the MSX did in fact have 2 cartridge slots, often. And they were able to do great things with that. And when you're dealing with kids, cartridges are great because cartridges are hard for them to screw up. I once ruined my dad's hard drive on the Apple because he told me to go attach a hard drive to the Apple, and I wired it up backwards and burned it out before we could ever use it. Yes, it was possible, by the way, to put a hard drive on the Apple. Well, it wasn't easy, oh yeah, the infrared keyboard. I forgot about the infrared keyboard. That was a stupid idea. I mean, I don't like wireless keyboards now. I don't remember any battery on that thing, but, you know, it's been a long time since I looked at the PC Junior specs. You know, yeah, the PC Junior is just one of those things I think that could have been great and ended up being awful. You know, kind of like Microsoft Bob. Remember that? The idea of making your user interface even more friendly is not a bad one. You know, how they went about it, though, most certainly is. Nothing to climb. Huh. All right, I'm confused about where I am then. I remember when IBM went ahead with microchannel architecture, and Dad gave me one of his dadisms, which said, you're not an industry leader if nobody is following you. Because IBM referred to itself as an industry leader with microchannel architecture. And the thing is that no one... King's Quest 1 very clear, the original monitor, very sharp colors. Yeah. Yeah. Because IBM was right that the PC needed something better than ISA slots, and so created MCA, microchannel architecture. And they were hoping to use this to recapture the market, which had got away from them with the clones and the Phoenix BIOS and all that kind of stuff. But no one wanted to pay IBM for the privilege of using microchannel architecture. So instead, everyone, the industry heads got together, and we got instead EISA, extended extended industry standard architecture, and that lasted until the PCI VESA era. And I can forgive you if you don't remember Visa, because no one else does either. It's the standard that lost. Alright, so where am I again? Okay, clearly this is the wrong way. Sorry if I'm having trouble following along, because these monsters are trying to kill me. I'm confused. Was there a special version of King's Quest 1 made for the PC Junior? Or was it simply the VGA version? The VGA remake. Okay, level 4. See if I can remember which way to go. Was a VGA remake, but a little later. Ah. Gotta remember to examine these hallways sometimes. Climb. We're now on floor 3. Yeah. I have weird memories of the Sierra Online games. On the one hand, of course, I played them. I especially love the Space Quest games. On the other hand, there are also great examples of some of the really crappy game design that was going on at the time. You know, the trial and error gameplay of if you don't get it right the first time, you die horribly. And then the game makes fun of you. also, some of the puzzles were just ridiculous. The Rumpelstiltskin puzzle comes to mind immediately. Oh, nice. My current computer is the only computer I've had in a long time without a genuine sound blaster in it. And that's because there wasn't room to put one in. I have a PCI sound blaster, but there's no room for it. But yeah, I remember my favorite sound card has to be the Gravis Ultrasound, which was the best sound card of its day. But I also learned a real lesson with that, in that it doesn't matter if you have the greatest hardware in the world if no one supports it. And the number of people that supported the Sound Blaster natively was unfortunately very small. Okay, so oh, you got a real you got a real Roland sound canvas, 55. Darn it, the knuckles broke my club. Let's make sure I'm still wearing armor. Yeah, good. Yeah, I've wanted a real MT32 and a real sound canvas. Never got any of those things. And of course, now I'm disabled and redundant, so it's unlikely I'll ever get them now at this point. But oh well. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so no. These monsters like ganging up on me. Finally made it to floor 1. Oh boy. Once I exit this dungeon, I can actually save. Yay! Plus 10 strength. Yeah. Yep, I do remember you got those. Okay, so what was I going... Oh, that's right. End. Do I want to save progress? Yes! Saving to disk. To continue playing, insert disk 2 and hit any key. Where's the any key? Yes, you know, it's spacebar. Okay. Magic. Seek spell. Can't cast the seek spell, you're too far away. Alrighty then. Let's see, climbing gear. So I guess we take the long route back to the museum. Fine. We'll fight you. How many rock beetles are there? Okay. On my system, there was real sound. Or on my system was real sound I have for PC USB MIDI. I put the audio out on audio in. Ah. I haven't considered getting a USB MIDI. Probably should if I can cost justify it. Right. Oh. Speak. Well-crafted, studied hide? Sure. Alright. If you're not gonna let me run away, then I'm gonna kill you. Nice. Yeah. It's always great to have a real OPL2 or OPL3 card. I kind of miss having one. Kind of miss... How about... Let me remove the weasel word there. I very much miss having one. Speaking of missed opportunities, not the Sound Blaster, excuse me, the Ad-Lib Gold was one of those things, you know, with that should have taken off better, and it did. It had, you know, when people started putting OPL3 chips in their cards, almost no one took advantage of it, and because they were backwards compatible with the OPL2 that's on the regular Sound Blaster, so they just said, well, let's just support that. Okay. Pirate treasure, where am I? Let's see. Yeah, I probably should sell the knives. I have a jade coin. An amethyst and a sapphire. Okay. Okay. Nice. I had a Sound Blaster 16 with the Wave Blaster card, and I thought that was pretty neat. And it probably was for its day. Okay. Well, that was pointless. Yeah, of course. All right, so all right. Oh, double mail has appeared. All right. Carrying too much, right. So... Alright, so equip the double mail. Not great, but still... Weapons, buy. Bladed staff. Let's get rid of these knives. And the good leather glove. So, armor, yep, the double mail, weapon, the bladed staff. .286 at 16 megahertz is capable to run Monkey Island 1 almost perfectly with 4 megabyte of RAM. Oh, that's nice. I didn't get Monkey Island 1 until, like I said, I had my 46 with my first IBM PC. Speak. Deposit funds. Right. All right. Alright, so hold, healing herbs, use. Speak. Sure. You know, I had to run Monkey Island on here one time just for the hell of it. I mean, it would probably be a one-day thing because I've passed Monkey Island so many times I could probably do it in my sleep at this point. Enter Allenville. Graveyards. Yay, graveyards. Okay, that would be the bank if I remember right. What are you? I don't remember. Oh. Yeah, lending association. Nope. Everything here is crap. How about armor? Ha! I think a lot of us can. I won't because... Oh! Ooh. Yep, gonna pick up the fair double mail. Yes. Okay, so... Yeah. I've played it far more than that. Although I don't think I could actually speedrun it because I don't like speedrunning. I like watching other people speedrun. That's a lot of fun. Let's see if I can get him to sell me a coin. Yep. Yes, I still remember I remember originally I played it in the showroom of CompUSA and couldn't figure out the red herring puzzle, and then when I got that puzzle, I was like, oh, jeez, that's a terrible pun. It's also one of those things I got to wonder how it translates, because I remember a discussion one time about a puzzle in Monkey Island 2. Oops, disembark. Where it involves a monkey wrench. And apparently, this item, at least in the UK, is not called a monkey wrench, it's called a spanner. You know, I just realized I'd better save before I... So, let's see. End. Do you want to save? Yes, I do. Yeah, it is. But I like it. I thought the jokes were actually funnier in Monkey Island, too. Hold iron key. Iron key does nothing here. Okay. iron key does nothing here, right? Okay, so the iron key does do something here. So they can attack diagonally and I can't. Got it. Okay, what is the stone key for? Hmm. Kind of disappointing that all of these chests just have gold and there's so little aside from, let's say, more healing herbs to spend it on. Because of course I always need more healing herbs. Oops. Well. Such an awkward interface. Nowadays, they just make it so that if you have the key in your inventory, you can unlock the door without having to fiddle with everything. Oops. Hold stone key. Let's try that. All right. Cassandra the Temptress. Alright, so I can't go up there. It looks like I have completed this castle for now. Right, where's my code wheel? Okay, so ring 1, Thagan, and Jesse. So 019. 019358. All right. Well, that's a pretty obvious clue. Sorry, going to have to read my notes again. Alright, I think that's the wrong place. Oh! Hill crossed. Darn it. Ring 9. 1862. Lovely. I think I need to get a jade coin so I can return the crown and scepter. I have a topaz and an amethyst coin. Yeah, let's go look at the tapestry. It's getting ready for time for me to stop the stream anyway, so let's at least look at the tapestry before we go. Okay, I've managed to get myself lost again, but that's not unusual. Just double check. Yeah, Herb of Life, yeah. Right, well that was something of a waste. I think I'll go outside and save. And call it a stream, because, you know, we got a lot accomplished. I need to grind for some more herbs. And then we'll pick this up again next Thursday. It's been fun. See you next week.